Boom! There we are. All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the CRM Zen Show, where we talk about all things Zoho. This is episode 346 for Friday, March 14th, 2025. So I got the year and the month right there. That's good. The plus side of project management from Zenatta Consulting. I'm Brett Martin.
And I'm Tyler Colt, and let's get right on into the show.
All righty. You know, I feel like when those credits are rolling, like you and I are just doing those mental jumping jacks to get our energy up, you know? And that music Freddie wrote just really gets us there at the end of the day. I don't know. Anyway, we've got what's that?
Said it definitely helps.
It does. I'm feeling rather Zenatta today, you know?
You got this
nice and cozy.
Sweater.
Nice and cozy in my warm Zenatta hoodie. Oh, yeah. I got the coffee. How about you? Anything? You got a shirt on? You doing anything? You wearing anything? Look at that.
The
CRM Zen Show.
I got one of the OGs, one of the originals.
I have one. I stumbled across, I had evidently when I moved, I'd folded this up and put it away, but one of the old CRM Zen AF shirts.
I have one of those still. Floating around in my dresser somewhere.
Those were classic. Anyway, all right. We have an extremely busy news week, so I guess we should get right on into it.
Who is Zenatta? We are the #1 Zoho premium partner in the Americas, consisting of a diverse team of 25 plus employees who are experts in over 45 plus Zoho applications, including CRM, projects, desk, campaigns, analytics, sales IQ, books, inventory, and more. Our team of experts also specializes in custom creator applications, custom web and marketing solutions, and the Zoho Finance Suite. But most importantly, we understand how all of this ties into our clients' business needs. We have over 1,000 plus clients across dozens of industries, ranging from a few employees to thousands, with over 5 new clients onboarded every week. And boy, do these clients love what we did for them. So whether you're just getting started with Zoho or need to optimize your existing setup, our team is here to help. Ready to unlock Zoho's full potential? Book a meeting with our experts today at Zenatta.com and let's build a system that works for you.
You know, I think it's 50% of the time I forget to introduce the quick little sponsor ad, you know? And while I'm thinking about it, I need to post a note because Zoholics is coming up and you want to use the code. Is it just Zenatta or is it Zenatta 20? What is it?
Zenatta 20.
Zenatta 20. Use the code Zenatta 20. We know some of you have had trouble with it. Zoho assures us that it is now not going to get turned off when you attempt to use it.
On and then off and then on and then off. And now it's on and it should stay on. We're hoping.
We're told it will stay on. So use the code Zenatta20 at checkout. That's for your admission. That doesn't apply to like if you want to do sessions or things like that, but you can get 20% off your admission to Zoholics in Houston. That's May 16th, 17th, something like that. May 16th.
Yeah, the 12th, 13th through 15th, I think it is.
Okay. All right. That's it. Be there. Be square. We'll be there. We have a whole new booth coming. Oh, yeah. Look at talked about the designs yesterday. It's going to be great. Now, Freddie, let's get into the news. Maybe we should roll that whole news thing one more time. Just now we can get into the news because then I'll feel the energy. No, not going to do it. Okay. Hey, guess what? You know what we need, Tyler? Because we haven't had one in a week. We need a new Bundle-roo. A Bundle-roo. If you don't know Bundle-roo, check out the South Park episode, okay? Because that's classic right there. So Zoho has come up with a new bundle, and it is Zoho Projects Plus. And we are putting together projects, sprints, analytics, and WorkDrive now. Correct?
Yep. Yeah, that's kind of the combo there. They're also trying to bake in more tightly some of the Zia AI features. Currently, they're leveraging OpenAI. So you put your key in, but once they have Zia agents, I'm kind of assuming you're not going to need to do that anymore. Of the big thing here is they're trying to kind of tighten up and build on top of the existing projects and sprints integration. So you've always been able to kind of spin out tasks on a project into a sprint. Here they're trying to just kind of almost what they did with CRM Plus, where because they're making their own UI for this bundle, you can kind of highlight that integration a little bit more, make it a little bit more intuitive to use. So yeah, you're kind of able to run either traditional Gantt chart projects, sprint projects, or hybrids, right? Where you're doing a little bit of both. Includes WorkDrive so that any of your projects get team folders created easily, and then includes Zoho Analytics for all of the reporting and data visualization that you're going to want to do. Pretty cool bundle. I mean, does not include CRM, does not include marketing stack, right? So this is just for the projects and task management. But overall, pretty solid. We've actually kind of got a little overview video that we put out on this already. So take a look at that as well.
We'll discuss that in a few minutes. And I got to say, I don't know if I missed it or not, but they had a thing in here. I think I need to have a poster made of this tagline here. Did you see this? It's
you can with Kanban.
With Kanban. Yeah. I like that. I like it. That's good. So also we've updated this over on our on Zenatta. We've added the bundle in, so the Projects Plus is in there. This is the only odd thing I would say about this is the pricing differential between annual and month to month is about 6.6%. So yeah, it's so minimum. So you're really not much of an advantage to go annual on this thing, but except you don't have to have those credit card bills every month. But anyway, new bundle, all good. And if you don't know, if you head over to Zenatta.com, we have all our bundles. Wayne was having a tizzy because things got out of balance with this new bundle. So I don't know. So we had to kind of choose the bigger bundles up here. It's interesting his choice project, on this, but I think it's about right.
I'd say
there you go. I'm still trying to get my whole family on Zillow.
Yeah, I don't think that's
hard to get adoption with 80-year-olds, though. I don't know. Anyway, there we go. Get everybody on Zillow bundle. All right, moving on. You've now got an approval flow in Zoho Learn. And boy, do we need this, because Greg and Josh are constantly putting out things that I would never approve in a million years. They've got errors in them. They're factually incorrect, constantly complaining about it. So now, before that Zoho Learn article gets posted and is made public for the world to see, you can put it through a nifty little approval flow, which is good. So Josh, if you're listening.
That's very nice, especially for larger teams, right? Like, because in our org, realistically, we got like 2 guys that write most of them, and they're the ones who would approve them. So like for us, maybe not a need to have, but if you're a larger organization and, maybe you have a marketing team, one of your team members writes up the brand style guide, right? It's like, well, before that goes out to everybody, probably should go through some type of approval steps. So yeah, I would imagine that for some users of Zoho Learn, this is like a godsend, right? Just to make sure that only accurate things are being published out for, team visibility.
Yeah. But I do think, so for example, if Francisco and Eduardo were to publish their guide to barbecuing, right?
That should just get auto-approved. Yeah.
Or, I don't know, maybe go to Freddie, because he does live down in South Texas there, and he might need to double check it for accuracy. You don't know. By the way, where is that guide? We've been waiting for it for a long time. So I go to Learn every week. No barbecuing guide. Don't understand. All right, moving on. New features in Zoho Vault. Oh, Zoho Vault is just, I love this application. I wish I actually do use this, Tyler, personally, right? Started moving everything to it on that because, especially on my phone, I like it a lot. So there are a lot of new features here. I'm not sure we can go through them all, but if you are running a company, you've got folder restriction been added, and enterprise password storage restrictions keep really separating out personal passwords and allowing them to do it.
Yeah.
File attachment control, I don't get. So maybe you can explain this to me. You can now disable file attachments within Zoho Vault. So I'm trying to understand that.
Yeah, it's probably just like you might have a user who maybe uploads a PDF that has username and password stored in it into here, which
into
is
the
less
vault
secure
itself.
Rather than entering them into the encrypted fields. That would be my thought. I saw the same thing and I'm like, well, who even puts file attachments in a vault anyways? So honestly, I would say, yeah, go ahead and block those because it would just inherently be a little less secure than using the encrypted fields.
Yep.
I'll highlight one that I kind of liked on here, the breached password alerts. I think that's something that every password manager should do. Right? Like there are these services, they're using Have I Been Pwned? They've been around forever, basically just scraping nefarious data sets to try to find if you have any passwords that are on those data sets. So they're the good guys in this situation. And now basically what Vault's going to do is just check against those sources to go, hey, do you have a password in here that has been breached? I love that, right? Because I'm pretty obsessive with my passwords. And if one was out there, I want to change all of them. I also kind of like this filter ability too. So the ability to add tags to different types of logins and then filter against those. Like in our account, we've got internal passwords, we've got external passwords, we've got credit card information that's stored, right? So just being able to tag these things kind of dynamically and then filter into them, pretty slick. I like that. We do a similar thing in OnePass, but it's in different vaults. But I don't always want to split things across different vaults just to get the filter. So kind of having the tags is nice. And, passphrase generator, that's pretty slick too, right? If you're going to use this thing for everything, you can just have it create really good, rigorous passwords for you automatically.
Well, and a couple of these are kind of catch up. So password phrase generator, I say, would be a catch up with some other ones. Also the alerts on, hey, you've been pwned. I think those are kind of catch up things that they needed to get in. But anyway, great stuff. A lot of updates. Congrats. And Passkeys coming soon. Ooh. Very good. Vault team is at it and moving right along with the news. What's new in Zoho Analytics March 2025? If I didn't have to scroll through this doc, I would just go get up and have a cigarette and come back in 5 minutes, but I don't smoke. But if I did, that's what I would do. So Tyler, take it away. What's new in analytics?
Yeah, so a handful of updates here. Common query table expressions are supported. I'll need to play with these to see exactly how they're going to work, but I do really like this idea. So the idea maybe here is you're storing a little snippet of SQL code. Like, for example, I have a deal. On that deal is a user lookup that I call salesperson, separate from owner, because owner might change later. And I'm going to have a little snippet that basically joins deals against the users table using the salesperson ID, right? And I might use that in different tables over time. So I could just store that in a database of queries and then use it again later, right? As a baseline. So there are those repeatable things that you might process the same data point in the same way, but in a different table. So just being able to store that.
I do want to point out here, though, that it would be much better, and just kind of if it was, CQTE. I mean, let's right. Let's then it'd be cutie, and I think that would be better. So I'm sorry. Anytime I can add this kind of relevant, valuable information, I will.
I know.
Anyway,
what would we do without you? Different tables to a common schedule. This is a surprisingly nice one. You might have a couple different data sources and you want to make sure that they're always going to come in at the same time, right? Because you get used to these things. If you know that it's on a 3-hour sync and you know that it's going to sync at 12 p.m. every day, right? And then 3 and 6. I do this with my analytics. I know when I can look at my data at the end of the day because I know that they all sync at about 6 p.m. Mountain Time. So 6:15, I'm looking at the dashboards to see how we did today. When these fall out of sync, it just means you might not be getting the perfect set of data, right? So being able to say, hey, these 5 tables, they need to come in at the same time. Really nice. Couple little updates for BigQuery integration, just around your data location. Few updates for pivot tables. If you like using those little embedded charts in pivots, I do not. But if you do, you can now do an overlapped view where it basically will let the bar kind of overlap into the number. So just a minor little visualization difference. And then same settings, but they've redone the pivot settings tab. They also are making them show live. That's really the nice thing there. So if you're making a couple changes, you can immediately see those. Other than that, image support for URLs via widgets, kind of nice. So rather than uploading an image, just point it to a location. Kind of a nice set. I will also highlight, just for the nerds in the room, they now have an API collection in Postman. This is just really nice as an easy way to grab all the endpoints and JSON structure that you need. and do any initial testing to make sure that like your OAuth is good to go. So just a bit of a time saver there for integrations with analytics.
Very nice. And major changes to WorkDrive TrueSync. So if you aren't familiar, this is an application that you download that runs on your Mac or your PC and can basically, historically, it was basically kind of grabbing everything, doing a synchronization. It wasn't kind of real time. And now you can choose up to 5 folders on your desktop, 5 folders up in WorkDrive. And basically, if you make a change in WorkDrive, it's automatically on your desktop. If you make a change on your desktop, it's automatically synced up to WorkDrive. So very, very, very important update to TrueSync. So if you, and I'm probably going to have to get the new TrueSync app and reset this up for our stuff. So fairly
and
nice.
The cool thing here too is that you can actually point it to a folder that's on your desktop that is outside of the folder created by WorkDrive, right? So that's kind of the big thing here, is that previously it could push that data up, but you'd have to move it into the WorkDrive folder. But you might be going, I don't want it in the WorkDrive folder. I already have my local folder structure set up. I just also want this backed up to WorkDrive, right? As like a backup plan. So yeah, you can now just point this to like any local folder rather than having to move it into the WorkDrive folder, which I actually really like, because like I'm on my local desktop, like all my folders are locked in. I like how I have them. I don't want to have to monkey around with it. So this would make me happy as like a WorkDrive sync user.
Yeah, very, very nice. All righty, and wrapping up the news, we don't spend much time on this, but CRM has a capability called forecast. And I think most of the time we're doing our forecast inside of analytics or some other tool to kind of pull it in. But it is there and it is valuable, and it ties in very nicely with deals, and it can tie in with your salespeople, and there's a lot you can do with it. And they've improved on it over the years. This one seems to be something like a really, really large client said, hey, we need these changes, because we haven't seen a lot of changes to this forecasting tool in a long time. But now you can basically include and exclude users across the entire org. That's really the main thing here. Who can see it? Who's participating? Who has visibility? Who doesn't? And again, you're really going to want this for a rather large organization where you're kind of getting down to this level of locking people down. But you can exclude entire roles, exclude territories, or selected individuals. When you do that, though, they will not have visibility into forecasting. So once a person's been excluded, they can't see anything. But nice little change.
Yeah, the kind of the key thing here is that a little while back they rolled out the ability where previously to make a forecast, it was like 1 by 1 by 1. I'm adding each salesperson, I'm defining their forecast. Then they rolled out this thing that's like, hey, you've got your role hierarchy. Go ahead and just press this button and it'll copy your role hierarchy into your forecast. It's like, yeah, that's great. Problem is, I might have people in my role hierarchy that don't do sales, right? I might have a developer role, and it's like, okay, well, like, there's no forecasting deals for our developers. It just wouldn't make sense. Right. You'd have to just go in and put like $0 forecasts for all of them, which, like, sure, that's fine, but they shouldn't be in there at all, right? Is kind of the point. So now you could just go in and say, hey, make me a forecast, copy my hierarchy, but filter these roles that aren't actually relevant for it. So kind of a nice update. I mean, like, I think using the hierarchy is like the right way to set up your forecast. And this just makes it a little more specific and less messy at the end of the day.
Yep. Very, very, very nice. And with that, let's head over to Club Zenatta and check out our code share of the week. All right, Eddie took some time away from his massive barbecue that he has built to actually grace us with a code share, updating the stage of a blueprint in Zoho CRM with required fields. Now, I would have preferred he not written this code share and had finished his barbecue tutorial that it was supposed to be, over and learn. That's not the case. So instead, you get some Zoho related content today on the show. Don't know why that is. Don't know why we'd even do this. But anyway.
Shame.
So That's it. So what is the purpose here? What is he what is he solving?
So this is a use case where you may have a blueprint that controls movement through different stages for something like a deal. Traditionally, blueprints are going to be used manually by a user, right? You click on the transition, you enter in the required fields, and then it moves the stage. People who've written a lot of Deluge might know that when something is locked in a blueprint, you cannot update that stage with a normal API call. You need to actually call the blueprint API to move it through the process. So if there is a case where something might need to move a record through a blueprint stage automatically on behalf of the user, this is the code that you're going to need. You have to call this specific blueprint API endpoint to make sure that it will actually move through the stage. And then this gives you the option to actually map in any of those fields that you need that are a part of that transition.
That's it. And Avi, I had the same question. So as you, if you're watching us on YouTube right now, he asked, this sounds interesting and useful. What would the use case for this be? Well, Avi, watch the CRM Zen Show, and Tyler's going to tell you what that use case is, all right? That's what you need to know. And if you don't know why we're here, Club Zenatta, that's your one-stop shop for all things community related in the world of Zoho. Well, there is the Zoho community, but Club Zenatta as well. And all we ask is your email. You can join. You can talk to other like-minded Zoho users. You can ask questions. You can put things in here that you want Tyler and I to cover. You can have video. Well, hey, I would love to see a video tutorial on this. We've got 7 of those going right now. Anyway, head over to club.zenatta.com and please join on in. And with that, let's head over to Zenatta and see what our blog of the week is. I like this blog, Tyler, because this trips up so many people, the do's and don'ts of Zoho integration. So bottom line is we don't need to go through all these, but depending on what you are integrating and what you are syncing, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes there's a very particular order in which you should do things and how you should set them up. And this blog kind of takes you over the Shopify to Zoho inventory one. That's a biggie. There's just a lot of different ways of doing it. And, oftentimes it seems like you go and you're like, hey, I want to sync these things. You just click the button and the next thing you know, all hell's broken loose. So this is going to help you avoid all those things by basically stepping you through the proper order in which you should initiate and set up your syncs. Anything you'd add?
No, really good article there. Couple just tips to call out when you're doing desk and CRM. Do it one way. Just pull from CRM to desk. Save yourself the junk that's going to come in otherwise. And then, with that books one, just set it up as accounts and contacts with individual contacts. Don't just sync them. That's the best way. Even if you're only really selling B2C right now, problem is in a year, what if you do a B2B deal? It will break. So just make sure, set these up the right way the first time and save yourself the pain and suffering in the future.
All right. And with that, let's get to our not 1, not 2, but 3 tips of the week. Wow, you and Maya were busy this week, Tyler. So, all right. So lead scoring. So this is so where are you pulling the scoring data from? Are you using Sales IQ on some of this scoring? How are you setting up your scoring?
Using kind of all of it here. So we go through all these different sources that you're able to score off of, kind of go through an example set of rules. I make sure to highlight that, like, at the end of the day, point values are arbitrary. They only matter in terms of their worth against each other, right? 100 versus 200 is the same as 10 versus 20, right? It's all about ratios. And then actually show where they show up and some common use cases. Like, hey, if a score goes down, maybe we want to make a task to the lead owner, or maybe we want to make a custom view if score is above 50, right? So we know some of these people that are worth it to engage with. So we kind of go through setting up the scoring rules and then a couple tips on how they actually end up getting used.
Very nice. By the way, points are not arbitrary, especially if you took the Chiefs -7 in the Super Bowl, okay? Or took the Chiefs you could have the Chiefs +20. It wouldn't. Points do matter. But no, this is a great tutorial because this is one of those things that I don't think a lot of people know that they can set up. And I think some of the best use cases are if you're sending out a bunch of emails and campaigns, Zoho can score that. They can go, hey, if they clicked on this link, score them this, right? If they clicked on this, do this. I mean, there's so much that you can be done. So you might, you've put someone in your system and you're just doing some outbound marketing reaches to them, and you have no idea that they're actually reading your stuff and doing it. But all of a sudden, if this score appears in the CRM that says, wow, this person's read every single one of your emails, they clicked on 5 of the things you had in there, perhaps it's time to call them. So good article, very valuable tool inside Zoho CRM. And Maya is on how to use formula fields inside Zoho CRM, a step-by-step guide. My guess, knowing Maya, is this is exceptionally detailed because there is a lot you can do with formula fields.
Yeah.
So she's taking you through it. Yeah,
absolutely.
And what is a formula field? So you're in a record in the CRM, and basically maybe you've got, I want to calculate, pick a thing, right? I mean, I want to calculate the average amount of time I spend working on this client. And so basically it's going to be rolling up other things, looking at it basically, and it just gives you a nice little number based upon a formula that you've set up inside there. Time between dates, you want to set up a formula field that says, how long has it been since I last contacted this customer? There's just so many different things that are valuable that you might want to go through and set up. So, and you can do it in formula fields. Very good. All right. Anything you'd add to this? Formula fields
you did a great job.
Formula fields are powerful, Tyler.
That they are.
They are powerful. And power should not be abused. Okay? Don't willy-nilly throw tariffs out there when you don't need them. Oh, that's a whole nother thing. Okay. Anyway, moving on. Hey, Tyler, you did a quick little overview of Projects Plus, the new bundle-roo.
Yeah, I thought I would kind of just put this together, kind of show people what it's all about, a little bit of the UI and kind of the workflow process for using it. Covered the pricing again, got a little bit of a laugh out of that tiny discount for going annual. But then, we kind of show some of the unique components of Projects Plus, kind of the tighter integration between projects and sprints. And then we touch on the fact that you can actually tie in some generative AI to make things run all the more smoothly. So worth checking out if you're interested in an improved version of Zoho Projects.
Fantastic. All right. And as always, we would love it if you would head over to our YouTube channel. That is youtube.com/Zenatta. Please like and subscribe. This is where we keep all of our videos. We also do keep them in the resource library. There are links to all of them in the resource library over at Zenatta.com. But man, are we on fire or what? I mean, look at this. 4 videos this week. 5 when ours drops. So anyway, absolutely, absolutely amazing. Everything, it's getting to the point. You guys, we think we've covered it all, but then we realize we don't. This is why we're putting out so many videos. There's so much in Zoho you can just do yourself, and you don't need a consultant. And so we try to make it easy for you. There are things you're going to say, oh man, I really do need a consultant for that. And, with that, Freddie, if you go to the end scene, with that, you can always just reach out to us here at Zenatta. Wow. Because I want to talk to you if I can. We're here for you. Sometimes there are people in your life, they're not here for you, but we are always here for you. You can trust us. We're never going to let you down. No, not like that ex-girlfriend or ex-boyfriend. We will always be here for you. And if you want to talk to us, all you have to do is head over to Zenatta.com and click on book a meeting. It doesn't have to be about Zoho. Maybe you just want to talk. We're here for you. Okay.
Preferably about Zoho. On the website is also where you'll find complete episodes of the show, as well as links to all the stories we discussed today. If you want that news delivered straight to your inbox every Monday morning, be sure to subscribe to our newsletter. And last but not least, we always appreciate when you like and subscribe here on YouTube, as well as your choice of podcast app. We will see you next Friday.
The CRM Zen Show was produced by Podcaster Zen.
We're a true media professional for that segue. That was nice.
By the way, we're still going to bill by the hour if you just want to talk. I just want to say that. You know what I mean? So don't worry. But we would prefer you call us about Zoho. All righty.